it. Okay, it's time to listen. It's time to listen to Svetlana Moisenko. She will speak about new dimensions of computer communication in modern linguistics. And she is representing group number 4, computational linguistics and multimodality, engineering cases in practice. Let's listen.
Dear participants, can you see my screen?
Yes.
I hope. So you know that the category of communication is the focus of the humanities. In this case, communication is interaction. The content of which is
Okay, please.
Knowledge and exchange of information, whereas means of communication in order to establish relationships conducive to the process of joint activities. Language as a means of communication has a critical social character where social functions actively influence its structure and largely determine its development. In this regard, the communicative status and language essence of computer specialists is of theoretical and practical interest. Computer communication opens a new dimension in human communication, enabling the storage and rapid transformation of large amounts of information. We interpret computer communication as a communicative event performed by interlocutors who send messages to each other in a natural language through networked computers. In most cases, computer communication is supported by text messages, that is, messages typed by the sender on the keyboard, formatted as a text on the monitor, and sent to the recipient at any distance from the sender. The characteristics of the process of communication using a computer allow us to predict the emergence of a special functional type of language, which can be called computer language. The realization of computer language in conditions of computer or near computer communication generates a new speech reality, computer discourse. Computer discourse is used in such meanings as multi-genre functional variety of public monologue or dialogue speech, which is born in the process of interpersonal computer communication, and the whole set of text united by a common theme related to the modern information technology. Computer discourse represents communication mediated by electronic means of communication or computer communication. Despite the number of terms used to describe computer communication, such as computer discourse, electronic discourse, internet discourse in general, these are the same concepts that denote both information exchange and communications through networked computers. By computer discourse, we mean interpersonal communication on the internet, and therefore such communication may be called mass communication, but it does not always coincide with it, because computer communication, unlike mass communication, is reciprocal, and many texts are not only general but also interpersonal. We consider computer discourse as a type of discourse that represents the speech interaction of users or computer specialists directly or in computer networks, and as a concept of speeches is the implementation of invariant model of discourse created by members of the computer community to gain new knowledge, which is presented in verbal form and determined by the communicated canons of the computer environment. In a very short time, about 10-15 years, computer vocabulary became part of the communication of different social groups. In addition, it has become widespread in the texts of such journals as scientific and educational literature, popular science magazine, and science fiction. This is due to the purpose of describing knowledge in the field of computer technology, as well as the growing interest of people in this field. According to the social situational parameter sphere of functioning, it is logical to distinguish type of computer texts that reflect different spheres of human life and human communication, such as political, administrative, legal, military, religious, medical, business, advertising, pedagogical, sports, scientific, media, discourse, etc. So the concept of computer discourse can be interpreted in two ways. On the one hand, it is any communication on computer networks. On the other hand, it is any communication on computer-related topics. The second approach is more important for us because, as you can remember, by computer discourse, we mean the whole set of texts united by a common theme related to the modern information technology, that is text about computers and text created with the help of computers. At the same time, computer discourse can be both individual-oriented, for example, email correspondence, and status-oriented, the use of computer text on various topics, politics, sports, medicine, science, etc. It contains features of all kinds of institutional discourse, not belonging to any of them completely. The types of institutional discourse are reflected in the genres of computer communication. The language used in computer discourse has its peculiarity. It is used in written form. Written language in the field of internet communication is characterized by the adaptation of spoken language, intonation, tone to the written form using paralinguistic means, such as drawing, photography, font, color, graphic symbols, etc. At the same time, compressed, which saves the sender's effort and time, the virtual genre does not contribute to the detail of the description, which is inherent in traditional written language, which could at least partially compensate for the lack of paraverbal means. The new texture of language in electronic communication, language material processed by means of language to create language science, is associated with a high degree of interactivity, manipulativity, multimedia, hypertext, efficiency. To this day, there are no clear rules for the use of language in the field of electronic communication. Communication on the internet is becoming the most popular global. There is a third form of language, along with oral and written, the form of email, communication in chats, forums, guest books, conferences. Email is a very specific phenomenon that blurs the line between oral and written communication. This indicates the emergence of a new form of speech interaction, written, spoken language. Dear participants, dear colleagues, thank you and happy teaching. Do you have any questions? Please don't hesitate, and please to answer them.
All right. Hello, everyone. Could I ask?
Yes, please ask your question.
Okay, just I think it will be like a summing up of the presentation. Svetlana, you have reported on computer communication. Just to clarify once again, what's the principal difference between direct and computer communication?
Yes, computer communication opens up new dimension of interpersonal communication, and it uses audio and video channels of communication and communication channels and communication online. It is in the direct line with the line content with the respondent, and computer communication involves in addition to direct communication, communication in the virtual reality, it is the most important feature of computer communication.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, dear participants.
Sorry, I also have a question.
Yes, please.
First of all, thank you very much for your report. And could you clarify the difference between mass communication and computer communication?
Both of them embedded in the multidimensional communication through the media, but if the mass communication is communication between socially fixed addresses and of the speech and indefinite addressee of the speech, computer discourse includes the possibility of communication between unfixed individuals, and that such opposition becomes irrelevant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
And thank you for your answer.
Okay, could you please stop sharing your screen, Svetlana? Is it possible? Yes, okay. Okay, next stage for us will be to work in Zoom charts. So we will split you into 5 mini groups according to the research group which you represent. And there is a link in our Zoom chat. So please follow the link, And your task will be to complete the action plan of your research group. We will be back here in 20 minutes to discuss the results of your action plan and to listen to a short presentation of your action plan, things you still need to do. Now we can stop the recording because we will work in an informal setting.